Very quickly, speaking of the Saints, because you mentioned that game there against Detroit. Now they're going to come home, and this number opened against the Panthers at 3.5. It's jumped already to 5.5, which is intriguing because you mentioned Derek Carr going out. We don't know what his status is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be able to go.
I think the market prefers Jameis Winston
over Derek Carr.
Yes.
So this is a move to that, and also it's still Carolina.
Yeah, and I had Carolina, and they got in the back door, even though they shouldn't have had to do that today. Because if you watch that game, and I watched a little bit, I know most of the eyeballs were on 49ers and Philadelphia, but I had the Panthers and Buccaneers on another monitor. So Panthers, it was a pretty darn even game, I think, Dave. They got out-yarded by 40 yards. The turnovers were even, but Bryce Young got sacked 4 times. That's not just the offensive line. Quarterback sack rate is oftentimes a quarterback stat, not an offensive line stat. And just continuing to struggle. 3 of 15 on third down today. Tampa Bay wasn't great at all. And that's why I went against them with Carolina. Plus, the game off Frank Reich being given the heave-ho. And it's not like I feel like the players were happy or sad, good, glad, happy or sad about it. But I think there's a pride. It's like, man, coach got fired partially because we suck. So there is a little bit of motivation there. Now, Carolina, by the way, had to get a Chuba Hubbard touchdown, and then the 2 to get in the number. Tampa Bay was able to run out the clock. Fortunately for me, taking 5.5 of Carolina. But I wonder. I think Carolina gave a really good effort today. But you also wonder in this spot with New Orleans. Now, New Orleans today was a 4.5 point underdog, and now that's almost a 10-point difference in the number. And I know there's a difference between Detroit and Carolina, but that's a tough turnaround.
Yeah.
I think for that. But I do think that this is a game, obviously, that New Orleans has to have, especially in that South with Atlanta, the Dirty Birds, winning ugly, but winning nonetheless against the Jets today. And Tampa Bay still right there at 5-7. So Atlanta, 1-game lead in the division. This is a game New Orleans has to have, and I think it's priced accordingly.
And again, that total has dropped like a rock. Open 42.5, all the way down to 38.5. Now, depending on where you got that number with Tampa Bay, I believe the over with that backdoor score in 2, because I think it closed 37, and it lands 39 today with that 21-18 win. Carolina coming up a little bit short. But again, if you had Carolina, they cover all numbers pretty much.
Yes.
Are we going to get the marketplace is not expecting points. How much more will this total drop if it's already dropped 4 points just on today alone?
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to drop anymore. I just think Carolina's offense struggling. You may have Jameis at quarterback, even though I think that could be better, but you'll probably have Taysom Hill packages here as well.
Yep. Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.